Hello, everyone. My name is Danny. This review is for the movie called Booksmart. It is a 2019 film. I just came from the theater and saw it. It is rated R. It runs an hour and 42 minutes. It's directed by Olivia Wilde, and it stars Caitlin Dever, Beanie Feldstein, Jessica Williams, Jason Sudeikis, and Lisa Kudrow. In this fresh, unfiltered modern comedy, best friends and academic overachievers Amy and Molly realize they've missed out on fun during high school. So, on the eve of graduation, they decide to make up for lost time with one wild adventure in a coming of age story about the meaningful bonds we create. Also starring Jason Sudeikis, Will Forte, and Lisa Kudrow. And one of the producers, I guess, is Will Ferrell. So you should know it should be funny. This is Booksmart. Well, I'll start off by saying that I really did want to see this in theater. It's been kind of painted as the female Superbad, and Superbad is a classic. Those guys have gone on to amazing careers, especially the kind of shy one in Superbad. He's like almost a megastar now. He's in almost everything I see. So um, I don't think these girls are going to get famous off of this movie, but it was good. It was enjoyable. It was funny. It was heartfelt. Um, I think I'll start with the plot line that that they're overachievers and they decide to do a wild night. The way the movie gets to that point is very creative, but it's a little awkward in this bathroom scene. It's like this movie doesn't explain anything at all. So the one staple scene in this movie happens in this unisex high school bathroom. Just the guys are hanging out there, the girls are going to the bathroom. It's like they don't even mind. Nobody says, "Hey, get out of the bathroom, you guys," or nothing like that. So it's not like common sense acting, and there's a lot of questions along the way. So that's the first like major thing is that this movie has things happening and you're like just go do that, or why are you in that situation, and nothing's getting explained because it's a comedy. It's really outrageous, and so that's the first thing. um, but when they get to the point where they need to have a wild night, it's fine that how they got there, but then they start kind of overreacting and it gets really outrageous, and that's when I feel like they're trying to be something else than what they are. Like somebody said, okay, you got to get funny and you got to get crazy now, and I think the movie could have just gone along normally and it would have been fine, because that's really the biggest attribute to this movie, is that it's a very natural feeling thing, and we get to see these people's personality and these characters complete utter dreams and aspirations and thoughts about things, and everything's very laid out. And as far as their stature in high school and how they think things are going to be in the future, and they're very honest with each other. um, I don't know many high schools that are like this. Just talk to anybody you want to. But it does get to that point, where all the characters kind of start mingling, and it's nice that way, but it's kind of unrealistic too. So I will address the comedy in this. I don't think it's the funniest thing. If you're looking to see this, if you're wondering how crazy it is, it does get very vulgar. It talks about a lot of things that are uneasy. Not all of us are, ready for the female side of vulgarity. And we've had Amy Schumer and we've had some other people come out and try and ease us into that genre, but I just don't think this is going to be for everybody because it gets a little uncomfortable. And I guess we're mainstream movies now where two gay guys are together, or it's all about two gay guys. But I just don't know if I'm quite ready for two gay girls to be mainstream movies all the time. I don't know how I'll be able to handle that. I don't know how modern America is ready to handle that, especially the talking about stuff between two women. Yeah, I know you guys probably do talk about that stuff in normal life, and us guys don't know about it. And I think most of the time we like to keep it that way. So to bring that stuff into a movie, you're kind of reaching a point where I just don't know if America wants to go. I'm kind of surprised that this is mainstream because of what it incorporates. It's not the most awful thing I've ever heard. I mean, you can throw out some words there and people are used to them by now. At least they didn't say the C word, but they say the V word a lot. And that's fine. I mean, it's kind of the South Park way of thinking, like, are women funny? Are women, able to talk about stuff because they do the same thing as men? I mean, like, we all fart, but do we really want to know that women fart? It kind of addresses that side of the comedy, and it is funny. I did laugh. There are a lot of cute things. There are a lot of things that kind of don't quite go over your head, but it does take a second to figure out. And so I would tread lightly with this movie. I mean, there's a lot of dead moments. There's a lot of just dull moments. There's a lot of storyline. There's a lot of talking. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot in this movie. It's not just some farce. So it's very smart. And that's where I want to go next, is that I like this movie because of the storyline, because of the emotions, because of the drive to be popular, to find someone, to have a life, to commit to your friend when they say a certain code word, and that means that friendship means that you're going to do this thing. And all those elements of this movie just make it an amazing movie. And you could almost throw out everything else, and it's a great movie that way because it includes all this emotion, it includes all this great talking dialogue of acceptance and denying what is rumored about you and all this other stuff. It's great. And so I would much more like to see movies like this that surprise me, because I think that they're just some stupid comedy and they turn out to be this great actual kind of movie that has this like deeper side to it. And I want to see those kind of movies more often. It's great. Keep it up. Um, there's a couple things in here that kind of get thrown in because it is a comedy. It's not funny, but it gets thrown in. And I'd say that there are about three things that I won't say here that are kind of stupid. And I think you'll be able to tell if you watch this movie because it's just one of those kind of things where you're going along, you're thinking, you're having enjoying yourself. They say a couple of jokes, they have this funny scene, and then that thing happens. You're like, really, So it does have a lot of surprises. It does throw you for a lot of loops. There's two things that happen and they don't show, and they go on to the next scene, and I hate that. And I feel like the last scene kind of gets cut short too. So I don't know why the editing happened the way it did, but I just felt like it was very weird for these two situations, and then the last scene. I just thought they could have been a little bit more natural. I thought they could have, expanded a little bit, and especially the ending. I mean, it's like, elaborate. This is your go-to moment. Bring it on, pour it on. So the very ending is, eh. I would have rather they stayed in the moment, and then they just kind of snap it over because we're a comedy. And I would have preferred them to stay in this like surreal moment. I almost cried, and then they have to snap you back into reality. So I think overall this is a pretty complete movie with a couple stupid things along the way, and I like movies like that. I would watch this movie again. I would suggest to watch it. It's not going to be the funniest thing you've ever seen, but a lot of these movies that get pushed and prodded aren't that funny because you're almost immune to it. So I do suggest watching Booksmart. I think that it's going to go down as maybe a first of its kind because it's younger girls trying to be vulgar, and we have another one coming up with younger boys than Superbad doing stuff that Superbad did. So I think they're just trying to push their limits with this kind of a movie. Producers and movie makers do comedy, and having Will Ferrell on your side is good. So I'd say good job, Booksmart, for having that. But I think these kind of movies need to be a little careful, even though they're funny, because you're going to start pushing your limits, and they're high school kids and they're girls, and there's some stuff that maybe shouldn't be said or done. And otherwise, well done movie, very good characters, very good personality, and I enjoyed it. I'm going to give Booksmart a B, and I suggest watching it. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other reviews, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And as always, enjoy your movies. Thanks.